Hello, this is Rod, Appraiser Broker. And just wanted to mention a few things today and have you ask yourselves questions and maybe ask your friends. Should you own additional properties right now? And some of the reasons that I ask that, one is because of this CARES Act that has been passed that allows, uh, well, people to stay in their properties and not be evicted or pay late fees clear until July 25th. And maybe some of you already know this, but back in April, around a third of Americans did not pay their rent on time. For those people that own a whole bunch of extra properties, this may just be the beginning of something that might get pretty bad. The fact of the matter is, when everybody wants to own a home, and at least most people seem to want to own homes. But I actually own a site called UtahForeclosures.com. And several years back in about 2010, when I put this up, about a third of the properties on the market in most neighborhoods seemed to be foreclosures. The market was really driven by foreclosures, and if you wanted to sell a home, you had to compete with all the foreclosed properties. Now, right now, these are foreclosures. Here's a property up in Park City. It's almost $1.5 million. That's a foreclosure. Here's one in American Fork, a little split entry home, and it's literally 300 listed for $355,000, 355.9. Here's one out in Vernal. That's a little over 200,000, 212,000. Another one that's under 210 up in the Ogden area. But people end up losing these homes when they cannot pay their rent. And when we realize that nearly a third of Americans did not pay their rent on time in April, undoubtedly the COVID-19, this coronavirus, had a huge impact on that. But so people got in the habit of paying things late. Then um, we find out that this CARES Act was passed that tells people that they won't be evicted. One, they've got to have at least a 30-day notice, and people would not be able to be evicted before July 25th, and they wouldn't be able to charge late fees. As you know, many people they take advantage of things. And a lot of those homes that people are holding on to are going to end up being featured on my site here as foreclosures down the road, because some of those landlords who really can't afford those homes, because if their renters, their tenants cannot pay their rent, a lot of landlords don't have the money to keep their mortgage paid because they're living on the edge. And so now most all of these four properties are bank-owned properties. They're foreclosures. They've been foreclosed on. That's my understanding. When I looked on the MLS, I believe each one of these is foreclosed on. There's a couple dozen foreclosures, throughout the state that are showing on the MLS right now. But there's a lot of properties that are in default. In fact, there's hundreds of properties that are in default where their mortgage payment has not been made. Back in 2009, 8, 9, 10, those foreclosures were increasing and continue to increase into 2011. And I started, encouraging people to buy homes in 2010 because I believed that we'd hit the bottom in most of the markets throughout Utah. And certainly we had a similar situation up in Colorado. But for those of you that own multiple properties that don't have a good reason for owning those properties, other than the fact that they've gone up quite dramatically over the last several years, the statistics are changing. The days on the market has been increasing quite dramatically across the Rocky Mountains. I'm a licensed broker associate in Colorado as well as in Utah, and of course, I'm an appraiser in Utah as well. But I've been turning down appraisals for quite some time and just helping buyers and sellers of real estate. They seem to appreciate me a lot more than a lot of the bankers have who, they want to lend money. And they like appraisals coming in where they need them to be able to loan the amounts out that people seem to want to borrow. And I find that when I represent both buyers and sellers, almost all of them seem to really appreciate me and love my help and services. And so that's where I focus my time, where I'm appreciated more, and my appraisal experience comes into play quite well for my clients, especially those that are selling. Sometimes I'll even feature people's properties here on the front of the Utah foreclosure site so that they get more exposure, and undoubtedly I'm able to get more out of some of those properties for my clients, and they seem to appreciate that. Anyway, I just wanted to make sure that you're aware of what's happening in the market. If you own multiple properties and you have mortgages on those properties, you might consider selling the ones that you don't live in, simply because there's a really good chance as people cannot pay their mortgages, their rent, the mortgages won't be paid on a lot of those properties, and more of those properties are going to be coming on the market. As that happens, the supply increases, and it doesn't meet demand, then values or prices start going down. And smart people have already got their homes on the market. If you have any questions of uh, what the market may look like in the area that you're in throughout the Rocky Mountains in the state of Utah or Colorado, you're welcome to give me a call. I don't work on Sundays, but on the other days I answer my phone from 7 in the morning till 10 at night, and happy to help those that want honest help. If you don't already have a real estate agent that you would consider listing your property with or buying with, you're welcome to give me a call. I help both buyers and sellers. Sometimes I interview other agents to assist people depending upon the locale. And I've interviewed hundreds of agents and recommended many dozens of those agents who I feel will represent their clients well and take care of people that call me for some assistance. Anyhow, this is Rod again, Appraiser Broker. You're welcome to give me a call any waking hour, and on any day except Sunday. I prefer that people don't call me on Sunday, but if you need to give me a call, then I do answer my phone unless I'm in church. But this is Rod, Appraiser Broker. Have a wonderful day.